Good morning, everyone. It is a great, beautiful Wednesday. I hope everyone's doing well. This is 18.5 for our Group D. And let me just say this right now. I've been going over and inputting your latest quiz grades from the previous weeks and last week's. I still have this week's open in case you need to finish any one of them or you haven't finished. You'll have time. You all are doing wonderful. I mean, it's I'm amazed and I'm so proud of each and every one of you. It's amazing what you've been doing right now. So continue working hard. We're moving along. If we don't need to go back to that lesson that we missed, we won't refer back to it. If I see that we need to go back to it, I'll add it in the following lessons. But as for now, we're going to keep moving. We're in 18.5 and we're looking at customary units for capacity. You're going to need your math journals. This will be the heading, the title for your table, whatever's next in the table of contents. Okay, whatever page number it is, then you're going to refer to that page number and you're going to write these notes down. This is the key. You have to know this right now. You have to know what capacity means. It's the amount a container will hold. And customary units to measure capacity are the cup, the pint, the quart, and the gallon. And notice the abbreviations. You need a copy of those down too. If you want to use a color pencil, that's fine. If you want to differentiate each unit of measurement, that's fine. Okay? It's up to you. Okay? It's up to you. So what we're going to do right now, we're not in the classroom right now, so we don't have these handy right now to do this section here, but we're going to just estimate right now. So I want you just to take a guess. Okay? Take a guess and try to visualize how many cups do you think it takes to fill a pint. Write down your choices here. Fill these in right now. How many cups do you think it takes to fill a quart? How many cups do you think it takes to fill a gallon? So take your guesses and let's look. Well, it takes 2 cups to make 1 pint. It takes 4 cups to make 1 quart. And it takes 16 cups to make 1 gallon. Now, if we would have been in the classroom, we would have had a gallon. We would have been doing this hands-on. I can't do that right now because I don't know if everyone has these handy. But as long as we know this right now, know that the cup is the smallest customary unit of capacity. The smallest customary unit of capacity. And what we're going to be doing when we start converting, starting to estimate and determining how many quarts we have, how many gallons we have, how many pints, and things of having to do with that, we have to visualize and be able to see this. Okay, and it takes practice. So how many cups are in a pint? We already filled this out here. So let's go and take a look at what we're doing next. If you have your math journals, you need to record this. This is key right now. This gives you like a little key, and you're going to be referring back to this over and over until you have this ingrained in your brain. 2 cups equal 1 pint. 4 cups equal 1 quart. 16 cups equals 1 gallon. Now then you go 2 pints equal 1 quart. 8 pints equals a gallon, and 4 quarts equals a gallon. You're going to go ahead and record these in your math journals. Again, if you want to differentiate, if you want to draw the pictures, that's fine. Make it so that you can use it as a reference because you're going to be going back to this reference here to answer some of the questions, and you're free to do that throughout the lessons and even when you're taking your quiz. The only thing with the quiz is I believe they are timed. So go ahead and press pause, copy this down, and then come back. Well, welcome back. So now we're going to just take a look at this real quick. And you have to determine which unit of capacity which you use most likely to measure the capacity of these. Would you use a cup, a pint, a quart, or a gallon? So you have to determine which one would be the easiest. Okay? And just look at the size. So for the cup, you would use what? use a cup. If I were to measure this bucket, well, I wouldn't use a cup because I'd have to be pouring several in there. I'd probably go with the gallon here. This little stovetop cooking pot. Uh, it could either be pint or a quart, depending. Again, I would not use cups because it would just take too long. Okay, and the glass, I'd probably use the cup also. Okay, depending on the size, you could use a pint even. It all depends. So, but what you want to understand here is we wouldn't use cups to measure the capacity of this bucket. Okay, that's you just have to be able to visualize. If they gave you like a swimming pool, well, that's too big. Let's see, a kiddie pool. Would you use cups or would you use a gallon? Of course, you use the cups. A big swimming pool, that's a whole different monster there. So, circle the groups that equal the unit named. So, we're looking at pints, and we want to know how many quarts. So, I know that 2 pints equals 1 quart. So, that's 1 quart. That's 2. That's 3. So, I have 3 quarts. 6 pints equal 3 quarts. So how many cups in how 8 cups in how many pints? So I know, well, how many cups in a pint? I know there's 2. So that's 1 pint. That's another one. That's another one. That's another. So how many do I have? 1, 2, 3. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 pints, 8 cups in 4 pints. Okay? So if I have 4 pints, I know that equals to 8 cups. If I have 3 quarts, I know that equals to 6 pints. And again, this picture here is going to help you. Okay? Please refer back to it. It's going to be, some of you may be able to do it with mental math. You will get to that point, but at this point, feel free to go back and review it. Okay? Let's take a look at some of those questions here. Now we're going to start using the knowledge that you know and pictures, writing it down, get your thoughts down, give yourself a chance for success. So Janet is serving lemonade. Each glass contains 1 pint. Okay. So she has a glass and 1 pint. Okay. So if Janet serves 16 glasses, how many gallons will she have? So I'm going from pints to gallons. Okay. From pints to gallons. So 1 glass equals 1 pint. So if she sells 16, or she serves 16, well, 16 times 1 equals 16. So she has 16 pints, right? So how many pints in a gallon? So refer back to your picture, and it's 4 pints per gallon. Okay? 4 pints. Sorry, it's 8 pints per gallon. It's 8 pints per gallon. So if 8 pints equals 1 gallon, if I divide 16 divided by 8, I'm going to have 2. So you have, she's going to serve 2 gallons of lemonade. That's a lot of lemonade. So look what I did. I got the pints, and I figured out how many pints in a gallon, and refer back to your chart. And we know it takes 8 pints to make a gallon. Okay? The easiest error here is confusing pints with quarts. Okay? It takes 4 quarts to make a gallon. Okay? I'm sorry. Go back to your picture here. And this is going to be your friend. Okay? So it's 4 quarts make a gallon. And once you start visualizing this, getting it in your head, you're going to be okay. So let's look at this one right here. And there's an error here. What's the error? Connor says that it takes 8 cups to fill 2 gallons, to fill a 2-gallon container. Okay, so I'm going from my smallest unit for capacity to my largest. Now I know from my chart that it takes 16 cups to make 1 gallon. Okay? So if he says it only takes 8 cups to fill 2 gallons, that is totally incorrect. So to fill 2 gallons, okay, you'd have to use 32 cups because you multiply 6 times 2. So that's why this is wrong. There's no way. It's way too small. Didn't even make a dent on it. So let's look at the next one. Mr. Belize has 8 pints of orange juice and 1 gallon of grape juice. How many quarts of juice does he have? So you're going to take this unit, 8 pints and 1 gallon. The key is now, what's your unit of capacity? It's quarts. So you have to figure out how many quarts do you have here, how many quarts do you have here, and then you add those together to get your answer here. So the key is they're going to give you different units of capacity, and then they're going to ask you a different unit of capacity. So convert these into quarts, convert the gallon into quarts, and then add those two. Like so. And I have that for you over here so you can see it. Okay. So again, that's the swimming pool question. So again, we know that 2 pints equals 1 quart. Okay, we know that. So 8 pints, these 8 pints is going to equal 4 quarts. Okay, because we know 2 pints equal 1 quart. So we're converting the pints into quarts. So I divide 8 divided by 2, I get 4. Now I need to go, how many quarts do I need for a gallon? Okay, if I go to my picture, my reference picture, I know it takes 4 quarts in a gallon. Okay, 4 quarts in a gallon. So if I add the 4 quarts that I have for the gallon, okay, and the 4 quarts that I got from the 8 pints, I get 8. So I have 8 total quarts. Okay, so that's how you do that. The key here is changing this to quarts and changing this to quarts. Okay, and then adding those two. Okay, that's the key. And if you follow that rule, but just determine what they have, what they give you, and then what they're asking for you, what they're asking from you, and then convert these into what they're asking for you, and they're gonna mix it up. So just be patient, okay? So that's the key, converting what they give you into what they're asking you. So what unit of capacity would you use to measure the amount of water in a bathtub? You would use a gallon, okay? And that's, given the ones that we have that are given to you in this lesson, you would choose the gallon because that is the largest one that you have. You would not use cups, okay? I think I had someone that one year was telling me, well, yes, I can fill it up with cup. It's not asking you if you can fill it up. So which one would you use to efficiently measure the unit capacity of a gallon? Okay. So if we look at the next one here, okay, which is the greater capacity, 2 gallons or 7 quarts? Again, you need to convert this into quarts, and this is already in quarts. Okay, so figure out how many quarts are in 2 gallons. So how many quarts are there in 1 gallon? There's 4. There's 4 quarts in 1 gallon. Okay, if I have 2 gallons, so 2 gallons is going to give me 8 quarts. Well, if I have 8 quarts, which was 2 gallons is 8 quarts, which is larger? The 2 gallons. Okay, the 2 gallons. The 2 gallons is larger. And again, I convert the gallons into quarts so I can measure correctly, so I can logically make my choice. The next one here. Okay, Angela used this drawing. Here's a drawing. 4 cups make a quart. It's asking you to write a question. So those questions are going to vary. So this is one. How can you rename 4 cups? And 4 cups equals one quart. Okay, so what your question will just be referring to converting the cups into quarts. Okay, so again, the key for this lesson, boys and girls, is understanding that, and this is the good one here, when they're asking you for questions determining different units of capacity, convert them into the one that they're asking you for. So remember, you convert the pints into quarts here, and you convert the gallons into the quarts, and then make your choice. Okay, and then work it out. That's the key. If you remember that, that's the key, and that's what you'll use for these next ones. Okay, so good luck. Take your time, and again, please focus on what you're doing, and you're going to be okay. Okay. Oops. Okay. So, if you have questions regarding the GT challenge that was discussed on Monday, have them ready for me for Friday. We're going to have about 10-15 minutes before the end of the session for Friday to have a discussion determine by how many people have questions. If nobody has questions, then we'll move a little bit quicker. But we'll determine that on Friday, and we'll answer some questions uh, on Wednesday, which is today, depending on when you review this video. So we'll see you this morning, or unless if it's the afternoon, we've already seen you. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful time. And again, if you have any questions, please send me an email or ask me during the live sessions. Well, thank you a lot for your time, and have a great afternoon.